Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Happy New Year. Welcome back to Hollywood After Dark. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. It is the first of the year. It's a new year. So what does that ultimately mean? Probably not a damn thing. If I'm being honest with you, given everything that's going on, movies, COVID, it's going to be a tough year. But it's going to be a transition year for a lot of things, for a lot of people. I think a lot of us are going to be enjoying a lot of what comes out this year. Ultimately, I think we're going to get a lot of good movie information, a lot of good movie commentary, a lot of good movie discussions that are going to be happening. And I've been contemplating where I want my own channel to go in recent days, covering the covering a lot of the nitpicky stuff is going to be. I don't know if I'm going to do a lot of that. Maybe on this show I will, just because we'll need stuff to talk about. But probably not doing as many individual videos because I have other stuff. I'm writing more scripts, and they take a lot of time. So let's take a quick look here at the chat. Garrick brings up the question: what did I think of the Pablo Hidalgo Star Wars theory controversy? Was it blown out of proportion? Yes, it was. I actually got into a bit of a tiff with Star Wars theory over it, predominantly because I called him a bit of a drama whore, which he is. He absolutely is. And he got mad at me, and he found this email I sent him from like 2 years ago asking if he wanted to do a fan film panel discussion on YouTube. I'd already talked with Alec Peters from Star Trek Axanar, and I reached out to a Harry Potter guy. I forget his name right now. And I was like, hey, I got these guys on board, or at least at the time I had Alec on board, and that's controversial. That changed the face of Star Trek fan films, right? That absolutely obliterated the rules that CBS allowed to happen. And Alec was more than willing to come on to have a discussion about those rule changes and about the changes in general. So I thought, why not try to get Star Wars Theory, who was dealing with the Warner Chapel situation? So I sent him an email, and he tried using it as some kind of gotcha. He tried using it as some kind of, I don't know what you'd want to call it, like some kind of weapon against me. He's all like, oh, is this you? Like it's a mic drop sort of thing. Like, okay, it was a 2-year-old email dealing with something specific at the time. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? But anyway, I had to deal with a lot of Star Wars Theories fans for a couple days, and I got called a pedophile pretty often. A lot of them called me a pedophile right off the bat. And then, of course, we have the whole Eckert's Ladder situation, where one of those guys was threatening to choke out Eckert's kids in the name of Star Wars Theory. And all the while, maybe he did it in a live stream, but I checked his Twitter. I did not see Star Wars Theory one time come out and say, don't do anything. What I did see him do is go on to a live stream with the Fandom Menace and apparently shit talk me for a bit. I only found out about it after the fact. And then I tuned in for a couple minutes to see what was going on. And I'm like, you can't sit there and say that you're above the drama, that you're not for drama, that you're not for all of these things, while you're hanging out with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, who's making blatant comments about coming in some dude's mom's mouth and then her giving him a kiss. Because Jeremy thinks that's edgy comedy. Someone from Floribama is going to clearly think that's edgy humor that a nearly 40-year-old man is going to be using, right? Oh, if you're going to give your mommy, give you a kiss goodnight, and the little crusty stuff on the mouth is my cum. Wow. Louis C.K.-esque level comedy there. Biting wit and satire. The only kind you would expect from the Fandom Menace. They don't have an original thought between them. They just rely on using, I don't know, what's the word here? Anger, fear, emotion. No logic or reason outside of playing people against themselves. But that's really about it. That is really, really about it. So in regards to that whole situation, it's kind of blown over. Pablo put out his commentary on it. Apparently Lucasfilm and Pablo have reached out to Theory. Theory refuses to talk to them. And, it's all being done. It's all a performance is all it is at this point. That's all it is. It's all a performance. It's all it can be is a performance. It's just, let me find a way to be mad. Let me find a way to be upset. Let me find a way to keep my audience feeling that in order to, I don't know, gain subs, views, likes, whatever. I was watching, what was it? Who was it? It was Urban Acolyte, I think. No, it wasn't Urban Acolyte. It was some other guy He has like 10 subs, but he did this like 58-minute long video about Star Wars theory, and he sent me a link to it, and I was checking it out last night, and he showed that like Star Wars theory only spikes in views and subs when there's a new Star Wars movie that comes out. And since there was nothing new in 2018, he gained all that from his fan film. And then as a result, you know, this year with The Mandalorian and this right here, you start to see spikes. So he lives and breathes when the new movie comes out. Other than that, he doesn't grow. He only grows when there's something big and major that happens. I find that to be kind of funny. I find that to be really funny all the way through. So really in regards to that, that's my thoughts on it. It was overblown. It was stupid. It was played out for cash. It was played out for effect. It was played out for milking the drama clicks at the end of the year when the highest CPMs were coming in through YouTube. Because the way it works is like this: September, October, November, December, with the exception of Christmas Eve and potentially Christmas Day, ad revenue is at an all-time high. The last week of the year, from Christmas till New Year's, it's actually really good. So why not have that time to come out and go, oh my God, I'm oppressed. Someone behind a hidden account made a comment, potentially, maybe, I don't know, kind of somewhat about me. And I am just so wounded. That's all it was. It was performance art, because that's all he's good at, dude. If you ever actually, I mean, like, I prefer people who are data-driven and logical at this point. I prefer people who are data-driven and logical. If you're not data-driven and logical, I don't really watch your content. I don't watch content from people that are emotionally driven or blatant grifters. People who lie to you in order to make you feel a certain way. I don't respond to them. I don't respond to their videos. I don't watch their content because it's just not worth my time. I'd rather spend the time talking to you guys about what is legit, at least legit enough from what we can understand coming in through the trades, versus like, Kathleen Kennedy said something in a stream somewhere, in an interview. No, because that's all it is. They just want to get mad. Anything to make their little peepees hard. That's all it is. It's just anything to make the little peepees hard. You know, I mean, it's basically about it. If you need to be angry in order to get your pee-pee hard, then you might want to worry about some other shit. You know, maybe there's some pills for that. I don't fucking know. Anyway, we are running across the thing here. So yeah, we are going to be talking about Wonder Woman 84. We are talking all this stuff. I got a bunch of stuff on the horizon. Just wanted to give it a couple minutes before we dive in to the news of the day. And that, of course, let me see here. All right. So I got my nice spiffy little PowerPoint presentation on here. If you guys haven't noticed, it's pretty nice to do this. So we're talking about a couple stories today. I got 3 initially lined up, and then we're just going to talk about a little bit of stuff for a while. Yeah, I know Geek Studios, we need more positivity. I am my, you know, I'm not perfect at that myself. I try to be. There we go. All right. So let's dive into the first bit here. We're going to be talking about Ray Fisher. And this in this tweet that came out a couple days ago, I wanted to touch upon it because everyone's talking about it. Everyone's doing this thing. It's a bit of a surprise. But anyway, I think talking about DC. So he put this out 2 days ago, saying Walter Hamada is the most dangerous kind of enabler. His lies and WB's PR failed September 4th hit piece sought to undermine the very real issues of the Justice League investigation. I will not participate in any production associated with him, accountability over entertainment. And of course, he's talking about this New York Times interview, which does feature a little bit about Hamada. It talks about other studios as well. And a lot of people, myself included, were kind of like, what is this cul-de-sac of storytelling nonsense? What is this stuff that we're hearing about, right? That this line that they put in there, and then this line that was then explained by the writer of the interview. I mean, all things considered, you have to kind of look at it like this. Hamada is covering up for Emmerich. Okay, so like at this point, if Ray Fisher, let's establish this like it's a video game, and Ray's a video game guy, and if he ever sees this clip, maybe he'll understand this. Okay, so we're looking at this through like a boss level perspective. Okay, so Ray Fisher is going up against a castle. Let's say it's a castle, and it's full of enemies all the way through, and he's fighting his way to the top in order to rescue, I don't know. Who is he trying to rescue? Gal Gadot, stunt woman? I don't know. Zach's career? I have no idea. But for the sake of this metaphor, it's a castle. And so he has to fight underbosses. And at this point, he's kind of destroyed a number of them, right? Like he took out John Berg. He took out Joss Whedon. There were some reprimands. We don't know what the reprimands were, but there were reprimands nonetheless. There are some reprimands. And then he's now kind of up against Hamada, right? And Hamada is, you know what, screw it. My analogy, what they're holding hostage is the fans. Let's just be fair on that one. They're holding hostage the fans. So Hamada is like the underboss. He's the underboss to Emmerich. That's what he is. He's the underboss to Emmerich. And as a result of that, he needs to 100% find a way to protect his boss, because he's coming at this from New Line, where they did the Conjuring franchise that's still tied into the overall Warner Brothers umbrella. Toby, he's known him for a long time. They've made a lot of money. He's acting like a Warner Brothers loyalist, which again, Warner's has that ability with a lot of people. They have the ability to find producers and filmmakers and creatives that stay very loyal to them because of the filmmaker first initiative. Now with AT&T doing what they're doing, trying to boost up HBO Max, it's a little bit different, right? But Hamada, he's running interference for Emmerich at this point. So this whole thing, in my opinion, leads back to Emmerich. And so at this point, he knows that the gateway to the future of Warner Brothers right now is entirely on superheroes. And the reason why it's entirely on superheroes has everything to do with the fact that, right, so AT&T dropped what, $108 billion to buy Warner Brothers. And so they want to put all of that onto streaming. They want to go down that route. So what's going to be the big hit? What's going to be pulling in all of the money from the IPs? Superheroes, right? We know that superheroes are the big thing. So Hamada's out there going like, yo, we need a multiverse because it worked on TV. But the truth of the matter is, you don't see anyone really coming out and going like, oh my God, the Arrowverse is just like so good, you guys. It's like, hold on. It's just, I want to make a really terrible joke, but I don't know if I should. No one sucks off the Arrowverse anymore. You don't hear anyone ever talking about it. You don't hear anyone saying like it should still be around. What they say is shit like, nah, it's fucking run its course. Let it fucking die. And so you have that. So Fisher is fighting back against a toxic culture. And this toxic culture isn't just at Warner Brothers. This toxic culture is all over Hollywood. There's actually a really interesting thread tonight on Twitter from Zach Stentz, who is, I think, a writer of X-Men First Class, and he's done a bunch of other stuff. I think he did a Thor movie, and he was talking about, the viability of actors and like wanting to, move the needle, like how he would write a script and how he wanted to get stuff done, and they would have to move the needle. Then Duncan Jones, David Bowie's kid who did Moon, he chimed in and he goes like, yeah, I had to fight tooth and nail to get Sam Rockwell onto Moon, a $5 million movie, because at the time they said, that he wouldn't move the needle. So they need bankable stars. They need buzzworthy stars in order to be able to move people to the theater. Like, to give you an odd example, this is a bit of an off-topic thing. Like, Wiz Khalifa apparently went live last night on some streaming service, and Tana Mojo, who is a YouTuber, was apparently sucking his dick. That's all over Twitter today. That Tana Mojo sucked off Wiz Khalifa on a New Year's Eve live stream. So the question becomes, for one, where can I find that video? And I don't know why I'd want to see it, but it's almost tragic enough to check it out. But that's going to gain a lot of attention. So I would be surprised if on Monday morning, someone from CAA or Warner, or was it WMA, whatever the talent agencies are, they come and they're pounding on the door and they're just like, hey, you want to be in a movie? Because people are talking about you over the weekend because you were sucking this guy's dick. And that is, unfortunately, the world we live in when it comes to getting stuff made. It is bankability. So the question then, did Ray Fisher kill his career over calling this shit out? The answer to that is no, he didn't. He didn't ruin it at all by calling it out. He actually is going to be able to find work. He just got brought into this ABC Limited series. Clearly, Zach is backing him. Clearly, I think AT&T is backing him, because I think AT&T wants to weed out this toxic environment, and they want to use him as a lightning rod to do it because he doesn't seem to care about ruffling any feathers. But apparently, and this is realistic, and this doesn't matter what any of the haters out there like Andy or Jody or any of those idiotic dipshit chuckle fucks want to say, what it is that he's got them running scared because they need to go on defense for him. They got to go to defense because Ray, oh, it's just Cyborg Fisher. And that's how they approve it. Yeah, I think he's awesome in the role. But like, he's out there and he's hitting them hard. He's bodying them left and right. They're throwing punches. He's Muhammad Ali in that shit. And then they have to keep coming out and defending themselves against him by trying to run more hit pieces. Dude, he's got him running scared right now. You know, and every time something like this happens, you can see like the fair weather people that don't actually follow the situation outside of just emotionally driven nonsense. And they're like, see, Warner's hates him. See, everyone hates him. Like, nah, man, if you pay attention, people don't hate Ray. Ray is working for people. It's a different story, man. Anyway, I just wanted to touch upon this shit real quick because it's an interesting tale. And so Emmerich, I think, is the one at the top. Emmerich is the one at the castle. He's the one holding things hostage right now. Hamada is just the person who's kind of like the face of it, you know. And I don't hate the guy, to be honest. I don't hate anyone. But you can tell that this is business, but it's an old business. It's an old dying model of business. And that, of course, is where we find ourselves today. So let's talk about this one here. I know people want to get to the Wonder Woman story, but I do got to talk about this. Pixar, soul, racist AF shit I've seen floating around. I saw it floating around a couple days ago. And I thought about doing a video on it, but then I thought to myself, nah, I'll just like wait to do it live or whatever. So this article is coming in from metro.uk, saying here, Disney Pixar Soul faces backlash from disappointed viewers over racial insensitivity. So if you haven't seen Soul, for one, it's an excellent movie. I watched it already, I think 4 times with my kids. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. It's heartfelt. It's touching. It's emotional. It's moving. It's everything you expect out of a Pixar movie. And it really does make you question your motivations in life and what drives you. And of course, the decisions that you make and whether or not you can find your ultimate bliss and find yourself in that soul space. And it's a great movie. Jamie Foxx should be up for like probably Best Actor award, I think, even though they don't do that shit for fucking animated voices. Tina Fey did a good job. Although I wasn't the biggest Tina Fey fan in the movie because I just kind of felt they didn't have a lot of chemistry. But that was my only complaint. Other than that, that was it. And I think that complaint kind of came in because when we look at this story here, this is kind of what people are trying to say, but they're doing it in the most, 2020 SJW woke way possible, which is like, hey, if I don't understand it or if I don't like it or if it bothers me, it's racist. And that's kind of what we're seeing out of this. That's my take. Now, Disney Pixar's new movie Soul has come under fire as some viewers believed that Tina Fey's role should be given to a black actress. Why? She plays Soul number 22. Nothing about her is identifiable as being a race outside of just all we know is that it's a gender. And that's it. Now, the new film that features the studio's first African-American lead centers on the story of a music teacher who loses his life but manages to find his soul in the process. Directed by Pete Docter, the groundbreaking film is infused with depictions of black culture, but also touches on the big questions like the afterlife and features references to meditation, chakras, and even shamans. Yeah, there's spirituality abound in this movie. If you know anything about spirituality, this movie has it in spades. And there's like, there's a lot there about that. So it has it's set to the backdrop of a jazz musician in his life and touching on that culture. But that's only a stepping stone into a lot of other deeper metaphysical conversations and ones that are not even being talked about here because people want to sit there and go, well, Tina Fey's white. Why is she in this movie? That's what we get. Now it says here, the movie has come under some criticism. Now the movie's released on Disney Plus. Some viewers have noticed some questionable creative decisions that they argue fall short of hitting the mark. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. One person on Twitter wrote, and this is kind of the first thing that kicked it off, was that, and they really wrote this too, Tina Fey, and they used an asterisk instead of the E. I don't know why. For name searching? Like, why do that? I don't get it. Anyway, it says the Tina Fey role should have gone to a black woman or black girl. Didn't feel right. But they never really say what it is. Other people brought up like Cree Summer and other black voice actresses. And I would, I'm not against hearing them in the movie either, but it's, again, this is a blank canvas. This is a blank soul. None of it really matters in that regard. It's the message. It's the message, but they want to overlook the message because they want to find a way to get angry. So what it is Soul viewers are also torn when Tina Fey voices Joe's body because they end up switching bodies at some point. Joe goes into a cat. Sorry, spoilers, but still, it's a cat. I don't think anyone out there is going to go, has PETA? Does PETA have a hot take on this? Is anyone out there? Have they checked? Have they checked the people for the ethical treatment of animals to see what they are saying about this? Anyway, the studio's first black protagonist needed the soul of a middle-aged white woman to get his life on track. Thank you for being mindful of racist imagery. Again, it's about finding himself, and it's about helping this other soul, Soul 22, find herself and her purpose. And she finds purpose through Joe's life. So what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? These are always when the hot takes of Twitter become stories that I find to be fascinating, because people out there, they jump at this, they glom on this. And the more there's pushback, the more you have people being stubborn and driving their heels into the ground and saying, no, 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 no. This is legitimately how it is. Now, another person here writes, yeah, casting Tina Fey as 22 in Soul did not do it for me. 22 should have been voiced by a black boy instead. The weight of a soul avoiding life itself, because of how awful life can be, would have carried a lot more girth if the unspoken context of how black people can be treated. And I'm like, fine, that's a fair criticism, to be honest with you. I understand that mindset completely. But as I talked about before, when we talk about moving the needle, when we talk about moving Hollywood, how they do this kind of stuff, they're in a business to make money. They're not necessarily, the art comes later. That was actually a line from Duncan Jones tonight on Twitter. Casting Tina Fey in the role wasn't necessarily the best thing they could have done. And I see their point here of wanting to cast either a black actress or a black male actor as a way to compensate, or to way to better exemplify the experience. But there's a lot of other things I saw going through this as well on Twitter a couple days ago, with just the most asinine takes ever. Like, they were even mad at Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor for composing the score to a movie that is about jazz culture. The jazz culture is just a backdrop to the concept. The concept of this whole thing is that it is, quite frankly, Joe is a jazz musician. All he ever wants to be is a jazz musician. And so that's where he finds his bliss. That's where he finds his soul space. That's it. And they spend most of the movie in the soul space, right? They find it mostly in the soul world, or the great before. And so then to make it kind of more like hypnotic and attractive based upon the colors and everything, Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails and Atticus Ross, who have done many a great score for David Fincher, were excellent choices for this movie. I just find it to be so much nitpicking for no real reason. But anyway, finally here the article says, the film has certainly conjured a mixed response as viewers shared their thoughts. Speaking ahead of the movie's release, film's creator Pete Docter also said that the team tried to be as correct as they could, saying we wanted to be as correct as we could. We wanted to be as authentic as we could. Because I think when you are in the audience, you can tell something's not quite right. It has an effect on the potency of the film. What we're always trying to do is just move people, make them care, make them feel something. And to be fair on this particular storyline, it's like the movie does move you. If you question anything about your life, if you question anything about who you are or where you stand, or especially after 2020, questioning your own decisions that put you where you find yourself, the movie is fantastic for getting you to kind of ask those questions through watching Joe go through this experience. The experience is Joe coming to realize these things. 22 is like a step to that point and getting to kind of see things from the alternate perspective. And the thing is, Pete Docter also did Inside Out, which did a great job at trying to find ways to show us how our brains work, how our emotions work, and how things can get out of is a good way to kind of dive into that world as well, which is one of the reasons why I really enjoy, Pete Docter's work. And I think Pixar does very well in regards to trying to go beneath the surface and showing it from a different perspective. But no, because unfortunately Tina Fey was cast, people are going to get upset about it. It was, I don't think, I disagree here with E equals MC squared. Like that aspect was problematic. It wasn't problematic. Just saying something is problematic, like, it doesn't make it so. You can have your criticisms, but that doesn't mean that it's problematic. Anyway, let's get into why I think a lot of you guys are here. Wonder Woman 84, massive hit, right? We hear about breaking records left and right, people watching it. They fast-tracked Wonder Woman 3, all this stuff. And then, of course, we find out that the movie is also doing very well on pirate websites. And this has actually been a real a real issue, to be honest with you. So a lot of people were asking the question leading into this release, how well is it going to do piracy wise? And last week when the movie came out and we all kind of tore it to shit because the movie sucked, or it's not good. Okay. It's not terrible. It's that middle ground of like, if I'm bored on a Friday and I'm drunk or stoned, maybe I'm just really feeling the need to watch some Chris Pine action. I don't know. But anyway, the idea there is that, you know, like we weren't hearing about piracy, even though that was a fear that everyone was talking about ahead of it. No one was bringing up piracy. So yes, a couple days ago, Torrent Freak talked about this, and this is a fantastic website for learning everything you need to know about the torrent piracy world, of which is a massive, massive underworld of stuff. So let's find out more. Wonder Woman 84 premiered on both HBO Max and in movie theaters this weekend, which proved to be a massive success. The same can be said for the film's release on pirate sites, which hit record numbers. On Saturday, this would be Saturday after Christmas, the 26th, nearly 10% of all pirate downloads on torrent sites related to Wonder Woman, something we haven't seen before. It's a potential game changer. And that is the fascinating aspect of it, right? Because, you know, Toby Emmerich came out this week and he's all like, perfect, amazing, wonderful. It did gangbusters. 12.6 million people have HBO Max that we know of. That's the numbers that's out there. That number will change. Half of those people watched Wonder Woman 84. 6 million people. How many millions torrented it around the world? That becomes a major question. Now, it says here, some stars feared a loss in revenue, and filmmakers, including Nolan, argued that their work should be seen on the big screen first, which is true. So here's what we find out. For the Piracy Premiere, typically when a movie debuts in theaters, there aren't any good pirated copies available online. Low-quality camcorded version may eventually appear, but most pirates ignore these, preferring to wait for higher quality copies that follow in the weeks or months. The streaming premiere of Wonder Woman 84 is a game changer in that regard. A few minutes after the film was made available on HBO Max, dozens of high-quality piracy copies appeared on torrents, streaming, and pirate download sites where they were eagerly consumed. To see just how well this film did on pirate sites and services that we've collected various samples of, downloaded figures from public torrent trackers, with the help from iKnow, it soon became clear that Wonder Woman 84 was massively popular. So I'm going to touch on this next bit and then I want to explain it. So it says here, we don't like to publish hard numbers as it's impossible to capture all downloads perfectly, but it's safe to say that millions of people downloaded a pirated copy of the film via torrent sites. And since torrent sites are only a small fraction of the pirate ecosystem, including streaming and download sites, would add millions more viewers. This means that that pirated audience could very well rival the number of people who watched the film legally, which is also very true. And the reason why this is fascinating, I kind of like to go, I was on the wrong screen, my bad. I kind of like to go back and talk about Game of Thrones. Okay. So, and I use this as a good example. It's also Warner Brothers to give you guys an idea. So back in like season 2 of Game of Thrones, as it was getting popular, you know, you'd hear about this, right? Where the producers of Game of Thrones were happy that the show was being pirated. The show was being pirated 4 million times, right? 4 million people pirated Game of Thrones. Well, 4 million people watched Game of Thrones as it was live. So that number kind of stayed even. The series finale 2 years ago, almost 20 million people watched it on HBO's app or on HBO. 20 million people downloaded it that we know of. So to give you an idea about how popular Game of Thrones was, it really does show you that in this particular case, there is a lot there that goes into this. I mean, there are a lot of people that pirate stuff, but piracy does have the ability to help push people towards the streaming service. The problem, though, is that when you have a high quality 4K copy that pops up very quick, that, I don't know, that could potentially hurt something. That could potentially hurt something. Anyway, let's go into the last slide here. So piracy remains relevant. The company should be applauded for having the guts to experiment. The audience is definitely the winner here, as they have more choice. And while it's too early to draw conclusions, it's probably safe to say that piracy remains very relevant. Every year, we see more and more exclusive movie releases on different subscription services. And since many people can't afford to access all of these services legally, pirate sites and services are seen as an attractive alternative. Not only that, to be honest with you, not only that, but what we have here is a situation where you've got a number of people that can afford it legally, but then you have also region lock. So stuff that's available that's in, like, let's say Netflix for US may not be available overseas. Take Mandalorian, for example. Mandalorian came out, launched at Disney Plus last year, or well, 2019. And as a result of that, people in the UK had to wait until March to get Disney Plus, and Disney still released it on a week-to-week model over there, even though I guarantee you a lot of those people pirated the stuff and watched it because it wasn't made available to them day and date, and that is an issue. So, like, take for example the Star Wars Clone Wars series finale from earlier, from about a year ago. What happened was New Zealand had the episode up early, so I logged into Disney Plus with my account through a VPN set to New Zealand, and I watched it a solid like 12 hours before it even came out here in the States. You know, so people do watch through VPNs, and that is going to help get people to subscribe overseas. But still, that is a very, very, very big problem. And that's one of the reasons why, when it comes to this kind of stuff, all things considered, piracy is not going to go away, but it can lead into sales if they market it correctly. Having the low quality copies out there, I think, push people to the theater because they want to see a better copy of it. And I do know people personally that will download a movie before they go and see it in theaters to see if it's worth their money, which is, again, maybe something that happens. I'm not too sure. But unfortunately, piracy isn't going away, and it's going to be there for quite some time. So that's all the stuff I had covered. Those are the key stories I wanted to talk about. Why don't we dive into the comments here? Let's see here. Okay. All right. Okay. Going back up here. Hold on. I want to say this real quick. I did see equals MC square. It says, you don't get it. You're numb to your history. It's not about being numb to history, but not everything has to be that way. This is the idea there was that in Soul, it was just a blank slate. These people were, when they go to the great before, they were all about building a personality. The personality had nothing to do with your race, creed, gender, because they don't determine or dictate what body you go into. They don't determine where you go in life. There's their job is to build people, not send them out. When they get their little Earth badge and they dive through the hole and they fly like little seamen to Earth, then they go into a body, or I don't know how they do it, but that's what it is. So to sit there and try to make that accusation, I think it's ridiculous. Because the souls that were children, Soul 22 was a blank slate. And I think that's such a really crazy thing to say. I think that's such a weird hill to die on. All right. Let's see here. It's legal to pirate in China. Is it? Yeah, well, their intellectual property laws are shit. Okay. Let's see here. Hamada and Berlanti have to go. Yeah, I kind of agree. I agree. I definitely agree. Will there be Collins? Yeah, I'm going to do Collins. I'm going to do Collins right now, actually. We'll be on about maybe another half hour, and we'll do Collins. Let me just drop that in there. The optics doesn't have... What about the explain to me then how the optics have history. Explain to me how the optics here are different. When you're saying I'm correct in the context of the framing of the movie, and then you're going, but ... That's not an answer. So if you got something, tell me. I'm serious. I want to hear it. Let's see. Underhaven says racism is fuck you. Yes, racism. Jesus Christ. Anyway, there's the link right there. You guys can call on in. We'll do this for a little bit here. And potential piracy for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh, there's a lot of potential piracy for that. And I know there's a lot of people on the Snyder Cut fan base that are telling people, don't pirate, pay your money, get it any way you can, watch it as a way to prove its success. And I think you're going to get a lot of fans that are going to do that. I think you're going to get a lot of fans that are going to absolutely dive into this and want to make it a thing. So I think it'll be okay here. Okay. Jack here says, I agree with you about Star Wars theory. Good, man. I have other words I could use. I just won't. I'll be nice. We got oh shit. Max, what's going on, man?
Hey, I just finished a long stream and then I finished the last half of Tenet. I just watched it for the first time on Blu-ray. I love that, getting a Steelbook or Blu-ray and just experiencing it.
I haven't seen it yet, so I have no idea if it's any good or not.
My head hurts, and I still don't know what I've. I mean, it's really one of the most like aggressive with the mind F. Like you're like, what? I mean, it's very interesting, and I didn't know that was Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah, John David Washington. Yeah,
I didn't know his name. I saw him. I didn't. Is this the first thing he's been in? Or he's been in another movie? I haven't seen any other movies he's been in.
I think so. I think it might be one of the first things he's in.
He's a really good actor. Like, and I like that.
Look at his dad, man.
I know, but
look at his dad.
No, but I like that I experienced that the first half of the film without knowing that was his son, and then I did a stream, and then someone told me it was his son, and I was like, oh wow, and then I kept seeing it and hearing it, and I was like, oh yeah, he's got an amazing talent. I really like the film. Man, like they said, this film was done in editing.
Oh, really?
I mean, the majority of the work was done in editing. Like, I can't go into everything that happens because then it'd be spoilers. But man, the editor on this film, whew, from what he had to do, I still gotta watch. I gotta watch videos on how the theories about the story, and I still don't understand it. I gotta watch it again. But it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, I don't have it yet on
Oh, you know what? I'll give you my I'll give you my Voodoo details. You can watch it if you
All
want.
right, man. Cool. Yeah. I want to sit down and see it. It's so difficult for me right now. Like I've got a bunch of these. I got like, I watched this one already, but like I got stuff to watch this one. Mm-hmm. I got this, Shining on 4K. I got Alien on 4K. Haven't watched that one yet. Goonies I did watch. I've got a few more. Like I got not Akira. I got Ghost in the Shell over there.
I usually would appear on camera, but I'm pooped.
No, it's all good.
I saw you going live, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to pop on. What were your main topics? Wonder Woman.
I talked about Wonder Woman, the piracy of Wonder Woman. How the piracy was pretty good, and a lot of people out there, I don't think really talked much about it. In regards to all that, like we had all these reports all this last week about like how good it's done, how great it's done, all that stuff. But we haven't had anyone really talk about the other side of it, which is the piracy side. And of course, the studios don't want to draw any attention to it because then that's going to potentially get more people to go and do that. In other countries where it's not available, which is the whole point. Because piracy, look, Wonder Woman 84 was only here for the States. So, so that's the thing. He was in Black Klansman. Okay. I haven't seen Black Klansman. So, I think Max went muted, but, yeah. So at the end of the day, I think
dogs are going crazy about something.
Max, they're coming to get you. They're coming to get you. They know. Lucasfilm knows what you did. They know exactly what you did.
What? I called for Kathy's firing?
Yes, that's it. At this point now, they're going door to door. They're going to come for me one day too. But your dogs can sense fear, and they know they can sense danger. I don't know. But I think people are gonna pirate stuff, but they don't talk much about it anymore. It used to be a big thing for a while. A lot of people were really into it. They were really big on covering it at the time, trying to make it out like it's this big deal. But it does spur sales, like but I think at this point, after all these years, because I mean I know like I've dabbled in my knowledge of it is the most of what I'll say for well over 2 decades now. Mm-hmm. So I mean like and I was going back. I'm going back to the days when like. You had to go into like, there's Usenets, which are still active, by the way, and you're never going to track those. You got Usenets that did a lot of this stuff. I would go into IRC, Internet Relay Chat. And that was back when the peer-to-peer was still a big thing for this stuff. Like literally people would go, here's what I've got on my server. And then you go, okay. And you go, I forget the command, but you go in and you can look to see what they have. And you can just tell it you want to download it. And then it would download it. Using IRC. And we're talking only a couple hundred megabytes at the time. So, and then back then, because we have the file formats like MP4, MOV, MKV, right? So there's also like AVI and whatever. Back then there was ASF. ASF was a bit more compressed than AVI. but they would transfer a lot of movies like that. So you would get them in two parts. You'd get part 1 and part 2. And the reason why for this as well was because you could burn them onto a CD and watch them in your DVD player. It was called VCDQ. So you could download the bin and Q file, which is about 600 megabytes per, and then you just burn it you burn that file to a CDR, and then you pop it in your DVD player and it plays. And then back then, the Dreamcast, right? The Sega Dreamcast had the ability to play VCDQs without and also had the ability to play pirated Dreamcast games without the need of an emulator. So like there was a lot more that went into piracy back in the day. Nowadays it's all kind of like locked. Like, there's a lot of people that still do it because there's a lot of surface level shit. But the people that get into it, like I've had a modded Xbox, to back up games that
I still do.
I bought backup games I owned because that's why I did it, because I needed to have backups of things that I clearly owned. I owned them at some point in time, but even back then it was like, I got my hands on an Xbox that my friend's roommate had effed off, and I just, I was like, hey, let me get the Xbox. And he's all like, well, give me money. And I'm all like, no, you owe me money. Call it square. I'm like, yeah, but I'm taking a bunch of these DVDs too.
I have an interesting question that's related to piracy. Do you think that is why the hate ragers are so prevalent to justify the piracy? To like over the years, it's so garbage, I'll only watch it for free. And that's also why they go jump the shark on the hate so much, that there's a lot of this stuff going on.
So yeah, there's a lot of that. People like to justify, right? Like, well, I'm not gonna like for example, I'll give you a prime example of this, a prime fucking example of this. So when Star Trek Discovery came out, I think it was like season 2, maybe, or it might have been the first season, whatever. I was listening to Midnight's Edge, and they were just shredding it apart, right? And they were all like, I don't know why anyone would pay for this. I don't, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, just admit you guys pirated it. Mm-hmm. Right? And they fucking lost their shit. Like, whoa, man, whoa, man, whoa, we don't, whoa, man, whoa. They like lost their fucking mind over it. And I'm like, just admit you did it. If you're telling people that, that why would you pay for this shit? You're clearly not paying for this.
Well, I mean, they all the hate ragers, they see everything.
Yeah, no, I know. And they all pirate everything too. I'm like, just fucking admit it. And they're like, wow. You got, like I said it as a joke for the most part. I said it as a joke. And like, it just fucking triggered them. And I'm like, because your response tells me that you're outright pirating. Just say you fucking pirate, dude. Like, fuck, I mean, like, here's the thing. They're not going to come to your door anymore. We're past the age of like these lawsuits coming in through fucking, the MPAA and the RAA. We're past those days, because you know what they look for? Predominantly what they look for are people who are sharing, because you can legally make backups of what you have. I don't recommend piracy. I don't do it. At this point in time in my life, I pay for it.
I used to do it for in the Napster days when
back in the day,
when I couldn't get a hold of something, or something was so expensive.
Yeah.
Or like I did even though they're one of my favorite bands of all time, Radiohead, when Kid A and Amnesiac came out and that was available there first.
Damn.
I wanted to hear it so bad.
So sad to hear, man. You just the pirate.
No, I wanted to hear it so bad, but I knew I was going to buy every single version.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, people like, when it comes to games, for example.
If the Snyder Cut was available now through piracy, I'd be so freaking tempted to watch.
Well, I mean, didn't you, and I'm just going to give you shit for this, when the Snyder Cut trailer from DC Fandom leaked online, didn't you watch it first and then do a reaction?
I know, and I'll buy.
You didn't wait your time then, man.
No,
you didn't.
I really second guessed myself at that time. Like, should I do this? And I'm bad.
It's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good on that one. It's all.
Well, I had on my live stream earlier, I had a hot topic that I kind of wanted to get your opinion on too.
All right, and then I got a group of people that want to get on in, so we're just gonna move through after that. But
sure, and you didn't show up on my stream.
I was with my kids. I was with my kids.
I'm just joking. I know you're a busy dude. Okay, so what I was saying was, it's very revealing, this New York Times article with Hamada.
Yeah.
And how it's so frustrating to hear the president of DC Films talk like this, because at the beginning of the article, he says, with every movie that we're looking at now, we're thinking, what's the potential max spinoff of each project? Okay, and then in the article, he starts talking about I know you don't like the multiverse, but then how the multiverse makes it so they could do spin-offs of projects, and when something pops, they can, elaborate on that. And then at the end of the freaking article in the interview, he says the cul-de-sac. So he says all of that really reveals how much he is not for the Snyder Cut. And it's so frustrating because wouldn't you want the president of DC Films to say, even if it's not his jam, even if the Snyder Cut and that movement is not his jam, why would you cut something off the knees instead of it popping? If the Snyder Cut breaks through the bubble of the Snyder fans and it gets to the mainstream and everyone's talking about positive, why would you cut it off at the knees and say it leads nowhere? Why would you not say, well, let's see how it goes. Let's see how people like it. And then we'll see.
Because it's because it's encroaching on his shit. Really. It's stepping on his dick. He came on in after Jeff Johns and John Berg were outed, right? They didn't want to touch it. He already knew about the Snyder Cut. Probably didn't want to deal with anything on that shit. Probably just like, let's move past it. Let's move forward. That was probably the edict put down by Emmerich. And then it's like, he's like, all right, man, I'll do this. And then here comes AT&T and Jason Kilar, and they're just like, Snyder Cut, and then he's just like, oh, they're on my dick, motherfucker. Like they're just stepping on his game right now. Because the thing is, no one in social media, if they follow the trending topics, no one on social media gives a crap about anything really. I mean, the Batman, yeah, 100%. But it's like no other show gets trended. Like the Snyder Cut fan base can get it trending multiple times. And they've done this for years. And they know the power that they have. And they know the influence that they have. And Hamada can't probably compete with that shit. So he might be a little bit on the pissed off side because of that stuff. As I'm saying, they're probably stepping on his dick.
Well, he hasn't got much done since he's done. He's finished what James, he's there because of James Wan, right?
Yeah, because of the Conjuring stuff, because they did $1 billion.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
That was a little bit, but since why haven't they started Aquaman 2? That was one of the big successes after. It's too big of a gap. There's nothing else getting started.
Finally. I don't know what's going on with that shit. I don't know what's going on. It's like that movie's had trouble. Flash has had trouble.
Right.
I think it's because they're just trying to figure out where to go. To be honest with you, it's like, I think that's a lot of what it boils down to. It's like, where do we go with this? Where do we take this? What do we do?
They really don't even have besides if the Snyder Cuts, they really don't have a choice. They have to kind of continue with these actors and
they have contracts, but they don't have to. Like the thing is, like the contracts are only like placeholders.
Wait, what are they going to start? A new Batman, new Superman, a new?
Aren't they? Isn't that what Hamada said? Hamada's like, we can run multiple things at once. We can do multiple Batmans at the same time. We can do multiple this, multiple that.
It's all talk. Like the stuff's not going.
It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. It's
never going to happen. Most of the stuff he talked about.
No, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's like, just stop it, man. People, and I keep saying this, and I get pushback from the DC fanboys on this one, of which I am one too, so it's kind of annoying, but whatever. But I'm like, look, man, this is a business. This is a fucking business, and you got to think of it from like, it's a business, and where are the trends at right now? The trends are long form narrative storytelling. Okay, so look, this is what Marvel did. Has done every movie is a chapter, right? Every movie was a chapter leading into Endgame, and even finalizing it with the epilogue, which was Homecoming or Far From Home. So now we're in a new phase, a new chapter, and that's what people are going to be looking for. What's going to be the building blocks leading into the next villain, and what are they going to do? And that's what fans are excited to go, what's the world going to show us? DC fans are like, we want you to give us more of this world, and DC's like, nah, get fucked. It's really what it boils down. It's so stupid. They just don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They're still all over the place. Like, even though the Snyder Cut's getting finally done, they're still all over the place. Like, that article was just, I'm like, are you serious? We're going to do 4 movies? You're still not on track. And then he's promising 4 movies a year.
Yeah.
In that article, I was like,
four movies theatrically, 2 movies on HBO Max.
I'm like,
and that's the thing. That's what I talked about earlier. I don't think you're here for that. So like, It's really right now. It is all about It is literally all about how much money, like it's how much money they can make through streaming, and that's using their IPs, and their IPs are superheroes. That's what people want to see. So that's where things are going to go. And that is unfortunately, like for a lot of other stuff, that's why we're getting the Peacemaker show. Why are we getting the Peacemaker show? Well, because for one, it's John Cena. Not because of the character, it's because it's John Cena. Where does John Cena do well? John Cena is a known name here in the United States. People love him. He's spent the last, 7-8 years becoming more or less an ambassador for the fucking WWE over to China. So he learned how to speak Chinese, right? He knows he's very popular over in the Middle East as well. Like, so he's popular worldwide. And so what they want to do is they want to expand HBO Max into this stuff and into these properties. So they're going to we're going to give him a TV show and we're going to tie it into this. So then those people who are fans of his will go and they'll watch the show and then they'll sign up so they can watch the movies. And that's part of their plan. It's all just follow the money, follow the people where they're popular, and you'll realize where these things are going to. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to find as much as they can in order to bring people to HBO Max, because this is the thing. 12.6 million people have HBO Max with an eligibility up to 28.7 million, meaning that there are 16 million accounts that have HBO that could get HBO Max but choose not to.
That's interesting.
And then it's like Netflix has 196 million subscribers worldwide.
Why? I don't understand why people don't get Max, because you don't get everything that's on HBO too.
Because it's not available everywhere yet. And the price is good. Okay. It's $15. It's I'm doing that 12 a month for a year.
I think you get better content than Netflix.
Well, the thing is you get more curated content than Netflix. Yeah. Okay. You get more curated content, but their UI is still shit. I like the collections that they have, which are dope, but it's like still like navigating through HBO Max feels clunky. It feels McClunky, and then even Disney Plus is kind of like that too. Netflix gets on my nerves, but it's like their UI, Netflix just keeps pumping things at you. That's how that works. Disney's got nostalgia, and HBO, which is Warner Brothers, which has like the biggest movie library ever, is still not able to pump out the nostalgia as well as they should. So I don't get it. But anyway, man, I got farm people that are in here, and I want to keep it like, yeah. No, I appreciate that, Max. We'll talk again soon, man. I'll probably be streaming like late tomorrow night or some shit when I get home from. No, I'll be out driving tomorrow night. So,
all right,
man. Well, hey, get some sleep. Happy New Year, brother. And
have a great one with your family. Yeah, always do the family time. I can respect that when you said I was busy with family. I get that.
Oh yeah, my kids, man, 1 year old and 3, they take a lot. They take a lot of effort. Like earlier today, I downed a coffee and then I laid them down for a nap, and then I went and laid down for a nap. So like that's how bad it was. Oh,
yeah, I honestly don't know how you have time for this.
It's very difficult. It is very difficult. That's why I'm like, it is very difficult, but we'll make it work. All right, man. I'll see you later on, Max.
Thumbs up the video.
Yeah, like it. Like there's 82 of you in here right now. Let me get more likes.
Yeah. All right, I'll see you.
Or super chats. All right.
I'll watch.
All right, thanks a lot, man. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
All
right. Real quick here, let's get into James. See if he's there. I know I've kept you waiting for a while. Hey, what's up, man? Sorry to keep you waiting so long.
No. It's all good. All good, man.
So
just,
let's
come back in Australia.
Oh yeah. So it's midday for you? Evening?
5 o'clock.
Okay, evening.
5 o'clock.
I don't know the time difference, man. I'm on the West
January
Coast.
2nd.
Yeah, you survived New Year's. What'd you do? You have a good time?
Yeah, mainly just did some emulation stuff and read about some Hollywood rumor stuff.
Oh, there's a lot of Hollywood rumors these days. It's literally like all we have.
But hey, man, I did some more research into the Blockbuster situation in Australia. Turns out at their flagship store in Sydney, they had a drive-through.
Serious? That was my idea back in like 96. Like, I'm not even kidding you. God damn it. I missed out, man.
They did it in Sydney at their 2-story store. Problem. what you would do is you'd pull up and they'd have a list of the top 10 movies of the week you could pick from, or like most people did, you could request a movie.
Oh, that takes time.
Yeah, that's the problem. Everyone requested a movie, so they had to take like 10 minutes to go get the movie.
Yeah, it would. I used to work at Hollywood Video back in the day. See, here's how you do it though, man. This is where they fucked up. This is where I planned for this. I wrote this out. Like I had a business plan when I was in high school, and it was like, come up with a business that like no one's ever done before. And I'm like, drive through fucking movie store. Right. And then my teacher's like, how would it work? I said, very easy. This is, back then with the internet, you go online and you rent your movie, right? You put it in your basket. And nowadays it'd be even easier because of everything. So you put it in your basket, and then you go and they bring it up, and they have to go get it, obviously. But it's just like there's no walk-ins; it's just drive-through only. And while you're waiting in line, kind of like a McDonald's, they take your order, they run in the back, they get it done, and then you're good to go. And you just pay and you move on with your day and shit. Like there's ways to do it where it's more efficient. But the fact that they did it, fuck, man, God damn it. They never did that here in the States.
Before you thought of it. They did it before you thought of it. It was like 1992.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, that would, yeah. Well, I mean, great minds think alike, I guess, but still, like that was like,
and it was
a $1 billion idea back in the 90s.
That was the first store in Australia to close too.
I mean, that kind of makes sense, to be honest with you. Like it's a good idea, but.
Yeah, drive-through closed. Then the whole 2-story store idea was just too much.
2-story store. That just seems, like when I was in New York, I went to a 2-story McDonald's, and it just felt like overkill. You don't need things to be second story, right? You just don't need it. You just don't. It's so
they had a 3-story one near where I live.
A 3-story video store?
McDonald's. No, McDonald's.
Oh, okay. Was there at least like a pole like a fireman's pole that went down to the ball pit? Because that would be cool.
No, I think it was like one floor was like it's still there. It was like one floor was like a playground party room. One floor was just dining area and internet. And then like the third floor was the actual restaurant.
Oh, wow. That's there. I mean, that'd be pretty good. That'd be fun. I think the one I went to, like it was on Wall Street in New York City. And so, okay, hold on. I just got sent an extreme weather advisory alert. Okay, shit. Well,
knowing you guys, it's probably snow.
No, it's rain. It's rain. We get windstorms out here, and actually took out power the other day for a while. Let's see here. All right, Abhishek Routh, I'm just gonna put you in timeout right now, man, because you're spamming shit. But all right, man. Listen, I got about 5 more people to get through in here. I'm just gonna rush through everybody so I can get to bed myself. But
yeah, man, that's cool.
I appreciate you calling on in. Thanks for keeping me updated on the whole thing with Blockbuster, because that is fascinating. And I got to get down to 5 hours away from me is in Bend, Oregon, is the last standing Blockbuster. And I want to make a pilgrimage to it. I want to go down there. And
what's interesting with the last one was they got in trouble for saying they were the last in the world when there was still a chain in Italy.
Well, fuck Italy. So there we go on that one. I'm not gonna. No. Is there really a Blockbuster?
There was. It closed in like October this year.
Well, then you know what? Now they can say it again.
Yeah.
Because there they go on that one. All right, man. Well, hey, thank you very much for coming on, man. We'll talk again soon. Have yourself a great night, James. Have a good one, buddy. Thank you very much. All right, Underhaven, what's going on? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, dude?
Not too much, man. Just thought I would dive on tonight and talk about some movie news. I didn't really know what else to do with myself. I was like, I could jerk off or could talk about movies.
Yeah, why not start off the new year by talking about some of this crazy news that we've been getting? There's actually been a lot of entertainment news. It's nice to actually be getting some fucking entertainment news again. But
yeah, although I chose two controversial topics tonight, so it's like,
I mean, hey, it gets people in here, it gets people talking.
Well, I mean, there's like 83 people in here right now. I mean, I can't complain at that. I normally don't get that amount when I stream anyway, especially so late on a Friday. But it's one of those situations where a lot of people out there, I think, really are, I think people are just desperate for movie news in general. I think people are just desperate to to keep up to date on what's going on. And I think, unfortunately, you know, we've gone through this period where it was just like nothing but rumors and speculation, and that kind of just blew everything up. Like it really took the wind out of not just my sails, but a lot of other people who comment on movies, because it felt like we're doing nothing but chasing rumors like all the time.
I even told you that like off air, as someone who doesn't pay as much attention to like movie news and shit as you do. I was just like, I've been scrolling on my Facebook timeline for like, you know, a couple of minutes, and I've already seen like 5 rumors and speculation just about Spider-Man 3. So yeah, it was pretty bad for a while there.
Well, and I guess I saw something today that I saw, was it Comic Book Cast or whatever, put out a video, and I think they said like
something like that, yeah.
Like Tobey Maguire is not coming back to Spider-Man 3. Like I'm like, and I'm looking through like the top trades right now, and I'm like, well, who the fuck is saying that? You know, and because that's the thing now, is I look at this shit, because I've got RSS feeds like a motherfucker, right? Mm-hmm. From like every major outlet and some smaller ones and stuff that I read every single day. And I'm like looking to see what's going on, and I don't see shit. You know,
it's just a bunch of rumors, speculation, just no concrete evidence at all. And I feel like at this point, it's just that like we're so overrun by the rumors and speculation that people are just taking shit at face value that's never even been confirmed once. Like I don't know, like who's actually been fucking confirmed from Spider-Man 3 other than Jamie Foxx? I'm pretty sure he
took that down. He did?
Yeah,
really? He took that down.
Well, even then, like, I mean, that just goes to fucking show, like, the majority of the information, quote unquote, that we have about this movie is probably fucking bullshit. Who actually knows what it's going to be like? It'll probably end up being something like what we're hearing about, but I'm sure it'll be pretty far off from a lot of these speculations that people are having. Some people think that literally every Spider-Man actor is going to be back in this fucking movie.
Well, and the thing is, and some people out there are saying it. I mean, there are people out there that are saying it. There are people out there that are believing it. There are people out there that are really trying to make that a reality of some kind or another. And I think what it boils down to in my mind is like, whatever Sony's going to do, it should be interesting to see what happens. It should be really fascinating to see where it kind of goes as we get closer, because it comes out in a year, right? So it comes out in December of this year, now that we're in 2021, which is awesome, because I'm like I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man, so I'm very happy to see what they do with it. And then, well, yeah, see, Virusonic here says, wasn't, not Alfred of Alva.
Alfred Molina, I believe.
Alfred Molina, yeah. I kind of caught my brain for a second. Wasn't he going to come back as Doc Ock? Well, that was another rumor. We don't know.
That was a rumor, yeah.
They said that it was said that he was spotted on set. And again, I don't know.
Now, I've also seen people saying that they've seen Tobey Maguire getting fitted for costumes, which
I've heard that too. Let me look that up. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3. Not Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Oh no, don't give him any ideas.
Spider-Man. I mean, I've seen like, Collider says Spider-Man 3 casts Alfred Molina, Doc Ock. I don't fucking know, man.
Here's
I don't
the thing,
know.
too, is like, I want to believe it. And that's exactly what's being done here, is like, they're trying to cash in on the good faith of, especially people like me who grew up with the 2000s Raimi films. Like, I'm sure you also have nostalgia for those films in your own way, too. But I was a little kid. Yeah. That was the first way I was introduced to fucking Spider-Man. And now it just so happens that people around my age now have disposable income and they can go out on the movies on their fucking own whenever they want to. And yeah, I feel like that's a big part of what's being trying to like capitalize on here. Like all the nostalgia for the Raimi movies, that's definitely being played on by a lot of these, I
remember the Raimi films really, really, really well, because I worked at my drive-in for all 3 of them, and that was a big thing, when those came out, because the first one was like revolutionary at the time. And what's funny was, because earlier I was talking with Max about piracy. I actually had a cam copy of Spider-Man 1 on 3 CDs. So it was like 3 discs, and I had a 3-disc DVD player at the time. So I would sit at home like in the middle of the day, and I'd pop it in, and it's like the worst video quality ever. But like I could sit at home on my 65-inch TV back in the early 2000s and like watch Spider-Man. I was very happy with that. I was very happy with that.
That's the thing about that movie too, is not only was it like notoriously pirated, but like I'm sure you remember all the bootleg merchandise that was around that film when it first came out there, because there was so much bootleg merchandise.
Well, what I remember is the controversy over the trailer. And
the 9/11 thing.
The 9/11 thing. And so we actually ran that trailer at the drive-in, and my boss kept it. He was supposed to destroy it. They wanted us to destroy it. Sony, right? Or Columbia Pictures at the time.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh yeah, guys, just like, can you guys like get rid of that trailer? Like just take it out back and burn it. Like it's in the fucking thing. My boss is like, yeah, sure. Spools it up and like puts it in his pocket. So I've got to, I told him that when he dies, I fucking get it.
Wow.
When he dies, I get it.
I know that's a pretty like well told story, but have you actually ever done a fucking video on that? Because I feel like that'd make an interesting video with like the new format that you've been trying to do.
I mean, yeah, when I talk about Spider-Man 1, when I eventually get around to doing that, because I've been I don't know if any of you guys have seen, like I did a video like a weekend ago. That was I'm gonna find the thumbnail for it here. I did this one. It's called The Story of the Man. I don't have a title for the series yet. I got to get a title. I'm like lazy as fuck. But it's The Story of the Mandalorian. And it's about a 25-minute video. And I kind of go through the history of the production of the show and I talk about it and everything. And it's all like written out, scripted, and I edited a bunch of stuff in it. And then I've been building up my my camera, my tripod, and my teleprompter are now my walls over here. So I've got like a little space to record and like do teleprompter stuff. So I want to do more things like that because it's just, those are interesting videos to make talking about the lore of this stuff. And I figure if I'm on camera,
type of content you've been making, right?
Yeah. And I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I was debating tonight on doing that or doing another, on going live. And I was like, I could write about a fucking movie. Like, fuck, what could I'm like, True Lies. People would watch that.
I don't know what the fuck that is. I only know cape shit, man. I only know cape shit. You know
that's the fucking thing. Yeah, like I should do one on like I think I might do one on like Justice League before Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out.
That's a good idea.
Just to like do like have like a 45-minute video on that shit.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, man.
People will watch it. Well, it's funny because on the other channel I was doing the same format but talking about like other stuff, and like they're not really digging that over there, but you guys kind of dig it over here, so I'm cool with it. But all right, man. Hey, I'm gonna let you go. I got like 3 people to dive through real quick. I just kind of want to wrap this up before we hit 1:30.
Yeah, you take it easy, man. Good night. Take it.
Yeah, we'll talk soon, man. Happy New Year. We'll talk again soon. I got some. I'll hit you up on Discord later. I got some shit to talk to you about.
Happy New Year, everybody.
All right, man. I'll see you later.
See ya.
All right, let's bring in John.
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm alive. 2021, 2020 didn't kill me, regardless of how many times I think it probably tried. I mean, being a food delivery person, and not only that, but a United States Census federal employee going to home during a pandemic, also during a presidential election when you have a lot of people out there that do not trust the government. And here comes a portly, overweight, near 40, balding fat man in a mask going like knocking on the door saying, "Excuse me, can I talk to you about your Lord and Savior, Donald Trump?" I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. No, and just asking him questions like, I'm from the government. Can I get I just need to get your identifying information. Don't worry, you're good. It just helps out quite a bit. But no, I mean, it's a crazy year. I'm glad it's over. I'm feeling good about 2021. I feel really good about it. I want to do more of these kind of streams. I spent the night kind of like redesigning my look here. I think it looks spiffy. I think it looks pretty good.
Not bad.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. I like it. That's all
that
and
matters.
then, that's all that really matters and shit like that. So, and it's like, so I thought we talk about, do a little bit of this. So what's on your mind Hollywood-wise?
Oh, well, Hollywood-wise, I watched a Wonder Woman movie, and there's spoilers if you want to put a spoiler alert on it. But all I can tell you is, I watched 2/3 of the movie, and I was still okay with it. I was still in that submersive, immersive storyline.
Yeah.
And then when the script goes, "Oh, everyone has to renounce their wish," it went off. It's like, no, we're done with the movie. That's just no. I mean, I could see it if Wonder Woman was the only one that had the ability to do the renouncement, and that would invalidate the guy giving out all the wishes, or and the wish thing. It would make sense if the more wishes he put out, if one person renounced it, they would all fall apart. That would be a nice dynamic. But when they went to, "Oh, everyone has to renounce," no, we're all dead at that point. There's no way everyone's gonna renounce their wish no matter what, Yeah, I know they put the lasso in the machine and it emitted lasso particles, but that was just too much to believe. That was just
See, I had a harder time with her flying than I did that. I just, it's like, because I'm like, she didn't fly. She just didn't fly. And then like a friend of mine who I don't know if he's in here or not. He might be. He was all like, he's like, oh man, like she flew in the comics. I'm like, no, she didn't. You know, she was retconned at some point in like, 30 years later from after her creation where she then like got the ability, but she's like, so.
Yeah. The only reference to ordinary people flying was by Douglas Adams. And he said that people flew by not falling on Earth. They would keep falling away from Earth. But
I just thought it was dumb. It's like they did the invisible jet gag. Fine.
Yeah, that was okay. The flying I tolerated, but
Underhaven here says it's not flying; it's falling with style. That's true. That's true. It's not. This is the thing, man. Is like you get a movie and it's like it's not a terrible film. It's just not.
No,
like,
it's just
the script. It was a first draft script. There's so much.
The
I could have
acting
written.
was good. The acting was good.
Yeah. I mean, what we should have had
is
is like more Chris. More if you're gonna have a middle part of a trilogy, because they're talking about now like for the next one. I've heard
bringing
stuff
them back again.
Bring it, not so much Chris Pine, although they should. To be fair, they should.
Yeah.
Fuck it. At this point, fuck it. Just have him have him be there in the beginning. Like Chris, what happened? It's like who knows? Like I was dead, and then I came back, and then I was in this movie called Soul that opened on the same day as Wonder Woman, and they decided to give me my life back. I mean, we're crossing franchise, but who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean, Soul was. I haven't seen it yet, but it reminds me of all the complaining about A Dog's Purpose. Originally, the Christian people were getting up in arms about a reincarnating dog. They're getting upset about that.
I never heard about that. I never heard about them getting upset at A Dog's Purpose. I just didn't want to watch because I didn't want to cry. I was like, I saw the trailer for that movie, and I'm like, no, fuck you. I fell for Hachi. Not again. Not again.
Yeah. I Googled and it came up ChristianPost.com news. And the guy was hoping, he's talking the Christian families may feel uncomfortable with the reincarnation of a dog. What do you say? And the producer's trying to explain away, oh, it's just an idea. Don't be offended. I'm like, I thought it was hilarious. But
it's so weird. It's so weird. Like what people get offended over. I mean, I know people in the chat are talking a bit about the fandom menace, and they get offended over everything. Someone stubs their toe in the middle of the night, and they're just like Kathleen Kennedy. Like Kennedy's out to get me. She's sending the spies. The ninjas are coming to cut off my penis.
Yeah, when I was in the Navy like 18 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, we had a concept called a
Those aren't close together. Those aren't close together. You're like, I was 18 years ago. I 30, 40 years ago. Like,
I was 18 years old, and I was 18 years old, and about 40 years ago.
Oh, okay. I see. So what you're trying to say is that you're old.
I'm old.
There you go on that one. Just go like back when I was a child. Back in the day when I was in the military, the candy bar cost a nickel and a hooker cost only $1. It was an insane time in the PI.
And a mouth was just a mouth. But
wait, hold on. Let's back that. A mouth was just a mouth? What does that mean?
Oh, it's a story from long ago about BT. I was on the ship, and BT-1 was worried about boys masquerading as girls.
On the ship?
He was telling me on the ship he was worried about when we went to the Philippines. He was worried about the guys that dressed up like girls.
Oh, and so you only got blowjobs. Okay.
And so I told him, hey, don't worry about it. Mouth is just a mouth. And you told me about.
I actually was propositioned once in a situation like that. I was this guy was like he tried to proposition college age guys. He was gay, and he would he's like just come over.
I was. Well, my story was.
I didn't do it by the way, but it was like a lot of money. Yeah, San Diego, man. There's a lot of weird shit in San Diego.
In San Diego, I was at a bar with this bartender that knew me, and this guy's starting hitting on me. Hey, you want to go to my place? I got some beer. I'm like, oh Jesus, guy.
Oh, this guy offered me like $100. He's like $100, and you can put a blanket on my head. You'll never know. And I'm like, I'll know.
Wow,
I'll
you got $100?
No, I didn't do it. I had a job at the time. If I was unemployed, it'd be a different story. Like, well, you know, I mean, like, we're in the 2000s now. I mean, things are a little bit different from back when, you know, like my grandparents were children. But no, really, I always thought that was pretty fucking funny that guy did that. But I mean, you get this kind of weird stories coming out of those parts of the world. But then again, this is a movie discussion podcast.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Hookers, they have a place in movies, clearly. We know this, you know. I mean, clearly Full Metal Jacket is still renowned for that $5 me love you long time.
Yeah.
Sucky. $5 sucky. Yeah, I know.
But,
I purposefully butchered that accent because I'm not going for accuracy here. I'm going for don't cancel me. Fuck. But all right, man. Hey, I'm gonna no. It's all. I say worse things. Trust me. I got into it on Twitter today with like some voice actress from fucking Dragon Ball because like she was talking shit about the Snyder Cut, and I'm just like I just sent the GIF. Shut up, Meg. You know, and like she's like, oh, you're just like another dude, bro, and like she thought I was Fandom Menace. She thought it was Fandom Menace and shit. I'm all like, I'm not. They fucking hate me. They fucking hate me. I'm not Fandom Menace. You know. So, but then a bunch of her people were hitting me, coming at me, and like, you know, all sorts of stupid
left
shit.
and right.
It was fucking. I have a tendency of angering fan bases.
Oh,
like,
it's just give them the line. You have a personal problem.
No, I like to like I straddle the line like with being a dick. You know, like I really because I'll type out some like seriously offensive shit, and I'm like, no,
let
you know,
me backspace
let me just kind of and then like I got like fucking fat thumbs, and I'm on my keyboard on my phone. I'm like, oh god, I just don't want to hit send accidentally, you know. But no, I just
no problem. Well, I promise to watch a Souls thing, and I'll critique the movie next time.
It's a good movie. I think you'll like it. It's a good movie. It's a lot of fun. All right, man. We'll see you later, John. Have yourself a good one, man. Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right, Andrew. I know you've been waiting for a while.
Hey, Jarbo.
How's it going, man?
Going good.
So what's crack-a-lack and what's on your mind tonight, Ben?
Not much. Just been looking through some superhero stuff. I mean, I did see like this ad today. That I basically kind of like a re-edit of the CW when they had their Crisis crossover.
I know. I never watched it, but I know about it.
Yeah, well, they did a little ad where they had some of this.
Wait, you're trying to share. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, all the Superman and Tom Welling.
I would like to see Tom Welling return. I know he came back, like he had a little cameo in that.
Yes,
I would love to see Tom Welling return. I always thought he was good in the role from back in the day and stuff.
And seeing that picture of all the four Superman make me think, man, you know that every DC live action movie and show are all part of a multiverse now.
To be honest with you, I know they made a big deal about it, but I don't foresee it happening in the way that people think.
Yeah,
because
no.
It's really it's business.
Your views on multiverse before.
Well, I mean, like it's just I'm not against it. Like I'm not against it from the perspective of like just being a hater. Okay, and I think a lot of people don't quite get what I'm talking about here. Like I always approach all my commentary from like a business first perspective. So it's like when you've got you're in the business of storytelling. The story has to make sense, right? The story has to make sense. And you have to be wary about how much you're going to ask your audience to invest into the story. So if you've got like let's say Marvel, for example, Marvel has got a through line. Everything is linear. It's relatively in order. If not, we know where it fits in the timeline. So we get an idea now,
okay.
And then people can follow it. And they tried doing it with TV, with everything else. They tried doing it with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that fell apart because of turmoil at the company. Now that's not going to happen anymore because it's no longer under competing divisions. It's now under one roof. DC, on the other hand, has competing divisions, and they're now, instead of trying to find a way to create something new that builds off of what they have, like what they've already kind of previously established. And I know this might seem like a weird thing to say. I feel like they're trying to consolidate everything into one and hope that it works. And I just don't see that as good storytelling because, you know, the average person in like the Midwest is might go see the movies, but may not watch the shows. And if there's critical references in the shows or characters that aren't going to line up with, you know, if you've got to go and do extra work and it becomes too much of a hassle for the audience, that's where you're going to lose the audience. And that is a reality. That's a big reality for a lot of this kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. And,
but I'm willing to give it a shot. You know, like give me just make it good and I'll check it out. You know, I'm going to check it out anyway, but I don't, given where we are right now with like Hamada versus Ray Fisher and that whole situation, doesn't really give me a lot of hope for what's going to be coming next, right? Because it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel like it's going to be like, if they're not able to get this shit locked down, and because the fans are wanting more of this, then what does that tell you about trying to incorporate the multiverse into everything?
Yeah, I mean, when I read the article, I thought it was about hearing what he said about like the two Batmans at the same time, meaning Pattinson and Affleck, did catch my interest in what they said about the 4 DC films a year on theaters and 2 on HBO Max.
Yeah, exactly. It's you know, I mean, the thing is, it could be good. It could absolutely be good. It could absolutely be great. And I'm willing to give it a shot. But I think for right now, I'm just kind of in that place where I'm like, you haven't sold me on the idea yet. And all the internal turmoil is not going to make it any easier for me to swallow it. Whereas with Marvel, I think they've established themselves. They've very much earned my trust and my money as a consumer. But I'm actually, when it comes to, and I'll be honest, when it comes to like that side of storytelling, I'm more interested to see what Sony's up to than I am with Marvel right now. And that has everything to do with like, I kind of want to see them.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, well, I want to see them explore Spider-Man. I want to see them explore Morbius and Venom and give me Kraven the Hunter, damn it. Give me something, right? You know, give me all that stuff. I want to see that kind of stuff. And then they'll find a way to tie it in. That's going to be the experiment to watch. Yeah, I mean, because, you know, I'll tell you this, like, because Into the Spider-Verse, my God, I love that movie.
Oh,
you know? And so if they can do something like that with DC, I'm all for it. But it's like, you got to have the right writers. You got to have the right director. You got to have the right talent. And I feel like while DC is good at like finding good talent, I'm a little bit concerned coming off of like Wonder Woman 84 and tying into that timeline. It was average. It wasn't that great. So yeah, it's one of those things, man, you got to just kind of like go with and we'll have to, I'm going to walk into it trial by fire type stuff. You know, and all that stuff. But hey, man, I got 2 quick people to get through before I run out of time tonight. So I'm gonna let you go. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on in. I appreciate it, man. We'll have to get together one night, talk Mandalorian. I know you wanted to come on before, talk Mandalorian.
Yeah, well,
I didn't see the DM because it came in through like the hidden stuff. It was weird. So, yeah. But we'll talk again soon, all right, man? Yeah, Twitter sucks.
All right, see ya.
Have a good one, man. I'll see you later. All right, thank you very much, Andrew. Okay. Geek Studios, what's up, man?
Hey, Matt. Long time no see.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I've been good. I guess we.
That's good, man.
You know, again. And I
how's your? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I wanted to talk about the Marvel and Star Wars slate.
Okay. What about the Marvel? I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you.
Like, what did you think about it?
Of like, what's coming up with Marvel and what's coming up with Star Wars?
Yeah.
With Star Wars, like Star Wars, 100% I'm on board with, man. Like, I love The Mandalorian. I love that show way more than I probably should. I'm really interested to see Cassian Andor, Obi-Wan, all the shows I have planned. I love this idea of taking the Marvel Cinematic Universe style approach and applying it to television and Star Wars with Mandalorian. I think it's going to be awesome. They're going to give us a badass villain. It's going to be Thrawn. It's going to be great. That's going to be cool. Marvel, on the other hand, WandaVision looks really good. I'm looking forward to watching it in a couple weeks when it comes out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Falcon and Winter Soldier is the one I'm more looking forward to, just because I prefer kind of like the boots on the ground soldier type approach to stuff.
Yeah.
I like those stories quite a bit. And so I think it's that's going to be cool. And then of course, you know, with they're shooting right now with Miss Marvel's going to be interesting. You know, She-Hulk, Moon Knight, all the stuff that's going to be coming on. Guardians, you know, the holiday special with that one too.
That's what I most want to see, like what they will do with it.
Yeah. I'm just excited to see what Feige comes up with, because I think like this is going to test his mettle in regards to being like the producer we all kind of know that he is, you know, because I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again, man. Kevin Feige literally is the number one producer in Hollywood. He is the top guy in Hollywood right now. I guarantee you, with power, with influence, with money earned, box office totals, you know, they're absolutely 100% like he is the guy to look at. And the thing is, like, you know, he's all about nostalgia, but presenting it in a new and interesting way. And I think that is one of the things that really helped Mandalorian season 2, because it was a lot of nostalgia, but it was presented in new and entertaining ways.
I cried when I saw Ahsoka on screen and Luke Skywalker. Like, I
didn't cry at that. I cried at Luke, though. I did cry at Luke. I will fully admit that I cried at Luke.
I'm wondering if they're going to do more with that.
I'm sorry, what?
Like, I'm wondering if they're going to do more with the CGI with Luke. Like,
I'm not
younger.
Oh, the de-aging technology.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that good. I really didn't think it was that good. I've watched it a few more times since then, and that scene really speaks to me, and I really like it, because it's just like, I showed my dad. Like, my dad has not watched Mandalorian, and I spoiled him the Boba Fett thing and the Luke thing, because my dad is like, I'm like, watch fucking Mandalorian, Dad. He's like, and I'm all like, all right, fine, watch. You know, on Christmas, we're at his place, and I showed him. I showed him the Luke Skywalker scene, and he's like, whoa, because he's like, wait, is that Mark Hamill? Like, he thought it looked really good, so he was really good at that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, maybe I got to go watch this show now. And I'm like, you got to fucking watch this show. Cause I showed him like we have a bunch of Baby Yodas in the house. Like, my kids love Baby Yoda. My girlfriend and I love Baby Yoda. So we have a lot of Baby Yodas. And I'm like, yeah, you see, we're a fucking Baby Yoda household. Like, you gotta get in on this shit. So, I'm really, you know, I want more people to watch Mando. Like, I want more people to get into Mando. To me, it's like, as a Star Wars fan, like as a lifelong Star Wars fan, there's something about that show that just like, it just hits it. I'll be sitting in my car, like going doing deliveries, and I won't have the radio on. And even this happened to me last night. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, dun 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 dun, you know, and I'm like in line, and I'm just like, you know, I'm just like having fun and shit. And people are like, what the fuck is this fat idiot doing? And I'm like, I'm just rocking out to Mandalorian, man. You know, because that song, like it's an awesome song. It gets you pumped up. It gets you hyped. And that's the whole point. The music is as important to Star Wars as the characters and the setting and the story. You know, and yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
It's like the best part of Star Wars is the music.
It carries on. Like, even in the shower today, I was all like, you know, humming Star Wars theme songs. You know, I was just like, I was humming the main fanfare, you know, and then like doing the Imperial March and shit. And I'm like, God, I'm a nerd, man. I'm just a huge nerd. But I love it. Like, I just love everything about it. You know, like the aesthetics are great. Real quick, I did see someone in the comment section talk really quickly about wearing a mask, not liking it or whatever. This is the one I normally rock. Check this one out.
I'm jealous of that. I saw that on your Twitter.
My stepmom made this one for me. It's not. I get a lot of recommendations for it here. If you guys want to see what it up close, it's.
That's it.
80s turtle print, man. Gotta love it. And then they got me a Baby Yoda one. That's currently in my car. that I also like to wear. But all right, man, listen, I'm gonna let you go. I got one more guy to get through real quick, and then I got to bounce out myself. So thank you very much, Geek, for coming on in. I appreciate it. I always like talking to you, brother. Have yourself a great new year, and we'll talk again soon. All right. All right, man. I'll see you later. Have a good one, man. Night. All right, real quick, last one of the night. Brian.
Oh my God! Sorry, Matt. I had no idea you were fucking on. I was playing Xbox. I was like, oh shit, Matt's on. Fuck, I didn't know.
I didn't talk about it on. I didn't post it in the Discord, unfortunately, like a dumbass. But I was too busy doing that stuff. But I am trying to keep this short. So you're the last one. So real quick, last one of the night. What's on your mind?
Well, okay. So the thing that's been getting in my mind lately is about these, these big action franchises like John Wick's building that Universal World. Now Matthew Vaughn's building the Kingsman franchise. Originally,
very happy about that. Yeah.
Originally 3 movies, now 7 movies. Is this asking for too much, or is this just, or is it just like, okay, are they losing their goddamn mind? Is this like they just want to go out and say screw it because we lost money in the box office here. This is how we're return the favor of like giving back to everyone what they deserve.
So the way I view it is this: for one, like if the stories are good and people want it, fuck it, give it to them.
Yeah,
like if people want it, give them the stories, man. We're at this point now where it's like there's no excuse to not do it. Yeah. And Hollywood needs to change. Like they need to change. They have to fundamentally change everything that they're doing because where it's at right now is it's just not working. It's not working. It's like, now I know people talk about like, theaters, and I'd love to get into a full on fight with somebody about movie theaters. Cause like, there was like Mad Max was streaming earlier tonight and like everyone in the chat's like theaters are going to die. And I'm all like, y'all don't know shit.
No.
Like y'all don't know a fucking thing. And I'm not trying to be mean about it. I worked for theaters for years. Like I know the industry. And I love theaters, man. I don't want them to go away. And the thing is, people will always justify entertainment. They'll always justify entertainment. As soon as these vaccines kick in, people are going to turn gluttonous as fuck. Okay, so hear me out on this. As soon as we get vaccines, and people are they have their papers, because that's going to be the next step. Is they have their papers, and there's going to be theaters. It's going to be bars. It's going to be restaurants. It's going to be strip clubs. It's going to be casinos. It's going to be like people are going to want to go blow off some steam. Yeah. Right. They're going to want to go blow off some steam. And so people are going to want to find ways to get out of the house. And so dinner night, date. I mean, I have a feeling that like right now doing the food delivery, that shit is good right now. Yeah. But like once we get like for maybe a month or two after this whole thing, I'm going to have to get another fucking job because I guarantee you people are going to be going out and spending because this is where we're going to get more money. With the Biden administration, we're likely going to get more stimulus packages because they're going to have to like really push and push and push. Yeah. And people are going to go out there and spend that money, man. And they're going to go out and they're going to do things.
I really do feel like personally from both sides of the coin, I think Chad Stahelski, he's building like what? So what we got John Wick 4 and 5, then the Continental series, and then the Atomic Blonde 2, Matthew Vaughn spending the 7 movies. I really thinking this is like what after what Daniel Craig he retires after Bond. Are we just gonna be like this the new action franchise that we're gonna look forward to because there's not really much going on like for content wise, or just like...
Chad Stahelski didn't do Atomic Blonde. That was David Leitch.
Gotcha.
Right. I'm like wait no because he was working on John Wick. Yeah, and I didn't think Atomic Blonde was that good.
I love the soundtrack. I thought that was a good soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack that actually represents the 1980s. Yeah. Jeez, Patty Jenkins and the music director of fucking Wonder Woman 84. Where were you guys the whole movie?
Yeah, so Atomic Blonde did it better than Wonder Woman. Like, what the hell, man?
I don't know, man. I just,
I really do still feel like that. Both sides of the franchise. I really think that it's just interesting because this is our modern day, like, somewhat in a Bond in a sense. Because, like I said, Craig is done. Nobody knows who's going to play after Craig then.
But they can also let that go, too, because when Brosnan was out, Brosnan wrapped up in 2002. True. I think Die Another Day was 2002 or early 2003. Yeah. And then in 2000, I think it was 02. And then it was like, and then it wasn't until the end of 06 that we got, so there's a couple years, waiting there. And it's like, at this point in time, like the movie hasn't come out yet. So talking about a new Bond feels like ridiculously dumb.
I mean, personally, for me, I'm looking forward to the Continentals the most. The Continentals definitely been high on my radar for the past like 2 or 3 years now. So
yeah, well, the Continental's an interesting concept. That's the cool thing about Wick is Wick has an evolving world, right? So it's kind of like, okay, I'll give you a weird example of this one. If you want to talk about very, very slow world building, look at the Paranormal Activity franchise. Yeah. So in Paranormal Activity 1, when they're like, where's this demon coming from? Or why is it coming after me? And it's like they find that one photograph in the attic. And that was the only bit of story you really got, was like this something when they were kids. That's it. Paranormal Activity 2, they talked a little bit more about it. And that was like, that was it. One little line of dialogue. I forget what it was. Then you go to Paranormal Activity 3, which takes place in the 1980s or the early 1990s or whatever.
Yeah.
And they talk about there being a coven of witches and like exorcisms. And you're like, okay, cool. And that's one line of dialogue. And then you get to the end of the movie and they find the coven of witches in the garage for some reason that we never got an explanation to. And that's just again, so they're parceling out this story bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. But the thing is, people are coming because they're hooked on wanting to know more.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about with like the Marvel stuff, man. They establish the villain, they tie all their threads into that. And then from there, people want to know what's going to happen next. It's good storytelling, and it's done in a way that's going to keep you hooked week to week. It's all done like the old serials, which is what Star Wars is based on, Indiana Jones and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that if they just play it right, it's going to do a lot like that.
No. I was going to ask you, what do you think has been more of like a better world telling, John Wick or the Kingsman franchise?
Well, we've only gotten 2 Kingsmen, so there's that. But I probably John Wick, because Kingsman 2 didn't wow me. Like I love Kingsman 1.
Yeah.
You know, I love my most viewed video on the other channel is actually a video defending the butt joke at the end of the movie. Because like when it came out in 2015 and people were like, "Did that joke is sexist?" And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fucking joke, dude.
It is.
And the thing is, that movie, that franchise is all about subverting expectations. Because she says, if you save the world, you can do me in the butt.
Yep.
All right. And then at the end of the movie, he shows back up and he's got the wine and he slides up and he does like the code and he gets in. And then what's the last thing we see is she's on her stomach, butt's lifting up in the air.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, okay. But so that subverts expectations, that it wasn't just like they went to go have sex. She's like, nope, my ass is yours, literally.
My question remains if Tara Negger is going to be able to do any more movies, or I mean,
yes, you know he's doing Tetris.
Dude, he's doing fucking
for
Tetris.
Apple.
Get the fuck
he's
out of
doing
here,
the
seriously?
Tetris movie for Apple right now. Yes.
Are you shitting me? What the?
I'm not shitting you. He's doing Tetris for Apple. Yeah. Look it up.
I did not know that.
He's shooting it for Apple TV. Yeah, I forget who's directing it, but like he's doing that.
My God, because I know he's doing the one more movie for the Exit trilogy.
Yeah,
and then the prequel is supposed to come out this year instead of it was from last year.
It was supposed to be out back. It was supposed to be out back in February of last year, and then they pushed it to September, and then now it's coming out. I don't know, next month maybe.
Yeah, next
supposedly.
month.
Just put it on Hulu and let me pay to watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just put it out there at this point. Let me watch it. But I would go see him in theaters.
I don't know, man. Like 7 movies, that's asking a lot for the Kingsman franchise.
But if it's done right, if it tells the interesting story, and these things are all about, you know, again, like subverting the expectations. Because, like I said, like at the end of the first movie, they had the butt sex. And then, and then at the beginning of the next movie, you find out they're still together a couple years later, and the movie ends with them getting married.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and that's completely anti James Bond, because James Bond is always like, you know, I'm just going to do them and move on, This one, he's all like, he laments like, I got to finger this chick for the fucking to stop this shit. You know, he's like, do I fuck her? Do I not fuck her? Like, you know, because he's conflicted.
Yeah.
Which is something you never get. Like Bond would have been like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I'll put my dick in anything. You know, for king and country or queen and country, you know, and that's the whole thing. Is like that is ultimately what they're gonna do. It's just some weird shit, dude. Yeah. But anyway, man, we're coming on 140.
Yeah,
and I'm like already an hour over what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I know. I just came out. I was like,
it's all good. It's all good.
I was like, what the fuck, man? I was like, I didn't see you coming. I was like, dude, I had to talk about this shit. I was gonna talk about Star Wars theory, but that was gonna be an hour later.
Oh, that's at the beginning of the video.
Oh.
I go off on about Star Wars theory.
Okay.
I don't say everything I'd like to say, but then again, there's a couple things I want to. If I ever run into the guy, have a really solid comeback.
The memes about him, about Pablo Hidalgo and Star Wars series.
I don't care. You know, man, let the guy have his opinion. It's like he did it from behind a privated account. Who cares?
I know.
Oh my God, who cares?
Exactly.
You know, but he's a higher up at Star Wars. He shouldn't be saying that. Who fucking cares?
Oh my God.
I'm so tired of this shit. It's like one person has an opinion,
I
and
know.
it's like. It's
It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, seriously, dude.
I'm just so tired of this nonsense. People who like milk the drama for fucking clicks,
my
dude.
God, especially getting butthurt, especially because I get it if he loves Luke Skywalker. For me, I love things.
Who
like
doesn't
Marvel.
love Luke?
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Luke?
Exactly. It's like me. It's like how much I love Marvel. Like, I mean, you know me. I love Wanda, and and I love the Avengers. But do I get butthurt of it? No, I don't. Like, fucking get over it. Like, seriously.
Yeah, it's all crazy shit.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
man.
fucking,
it is.
and just like this whole thing is like I pissed him off, which I thought was really funny.
I wouldn't expect you to piss him off at one bit at all.
No, I just said like he's just being a drama whore basically, and then he sends me like this email of I sent him an email 2 years ago, and he's like, "This you?" I'm like, "Yeah," and that's a great gotcha. Ooh, that's the vicious Canadian wit.
I don't know. I don't know him between Mike Xerox. I mean, I can't. No. Exactly. You get where I'm going.
Dude, even I would not make that distinction right there. I'd be like, oh, yeah, no, it's fucking Star Wars Theory and Mike Zero, same dude. Put that on your channel and smoke it. Jesus.
I had to swing some punches right there, so you know that was
coming. Oh, yeah, okay, you fucking... I'm gonna stop before I get myself in some real trouble.
Exactly.
So
exactly
all right. Good talk, good times, good fun. Good night, Brian. Have a good one, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Have a good night.
All right. Anyway, this was a fun stream. I appreciate everyone tuning on in. There's still 69 of you. Good number, by the way. You hope to one day find yourself in a 69 with the person of your choosing. Anyway. Hope everyone had a great New Year's. Hope everyone had a good night. I'll probably be back on Sunday night, doing another one of these, or maybe Monday, depending on when some news drops in. And then as always, I look forward to talking with you. I look forward to chatting with you guys. You guys are always great. You guys already make my year fantastic, and I love you for that. I'll talk to you guys all later. Have yourself a great day. Thank you again for watching. Hit that like, goddammit. Let's get it up over 50. I'm looking at you. All right, have a good one. I'll see you guys. Peace out.